All right, today we got a rooftop unit that's flat on refrigerant. As you can see, there's nothing in the system. We're gonna do an entire leak search and try to find out where all the refrigerant went. So first thing you're gonna start with is check all your common rub points. So we all these elbows that are in here, double check everything. These joints, the pressure controls, just double check everything you see in here. So we're gonna rip this unit apart, try to find this leak. Got my nitrogen hooked up. I already put a little gas in it. I'll put my mic up here so you can hear it. Right around there. Let's open that up. Figure out what's going on. All right, so as you can see, that part of the TXV where it equalizes everything out has broken off. So I'm going to heat this pipe up, remove that, and sweat that back into it. Yeah, let's get to it. All right, so I'm back. I did put this thing on the vacuum pump while I was gone, try to get all the contaminants out of the oil as best I can, but it ended up through my oil because it was full of moisture. So I had to replace the oil in this thing. I got a new little container here. I had to do the drive of shame to the supply house because I did not have the 164 sweat as it has in here. Let's go ahead and get that replaced. All right, so as you can tell, it's no longer sun anymore because it was a full 24 hours later. I let this thing sit on the vacuum pump for, 24 hours. Because there was so much moisture in here because that little piece was sticking straight up and getting rained on the entire time. So this thing just filled up with water. So luckily, we were able to leave it on the vacuum pump for, again, a full 24 hours. Now we can weigh in the charge. Try that out. This thing takes 12 pounds. Now, these systems are critically charged systems, mainly because it's a two-stage system. This thing has a solenoid valve on it that when it opens, it sends more refrigerant to the other TXV. So it's waiting to discharge, test everything out, and go from there. So when you're sitting here charging any refrigeration system, when it's turned off and shut down like this, and it's in a vacuum, you charge in from the high side. You do not want to put a bunch of liquid refrigerant into the compressor from the suction side. Reason being, you don't want to slug the compressor when it turns on, and you don't want to basically wash out all the oil from the inside of the compressor. Not really a good day. Right now we're charging it up. We got about 2.5 pounds in so far almost. Let's see, as I said, this thing takes 12 pounds. So it's going to take a while to get it all in there, especially on a cooler day like this. I'm probably going to set everything up to get it to run, so it can suck in all that charge. It's going to take a minute to get the full 12 pounds in. All right, so I got it up to almost 8 pounds. I'm going to try to run this thing and see if we have any compression at all. Hopefully this compressor's still good. Can't even tell until we get this done. So pushing the contactor. Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. No compression. Compressor's toast. Hell yeah. All right. Well, that sucks. So this was a worry of mine that the compressor could have been dead. Obviously it has no compression, so we're going to have to come back again and replace this compressor. All right, it's been about a week later. We've got all the approvals to do this job. All right, we're all gauged up. Got the recovery machine on, fresh recovery cylinder in. Now it's important that I put 8 pounds into this thing. Hopefully there's still 8 pounds in there. So let's just tar this out. Make sure it's good. Open this up. Let flowing on its own. And then once it's ready, we'll start flowing this in. Get her going. But obviously you gotta save as much as refrigerant as you can. Don't want to just vent up in the atmosphere. That'd be a no-no with the EPA. So obviously when you're recovering and everything, you want to make sure you have good flow on everything, because these hoses here, this NRP, are low loss. So they really struggle with flow. When you get to the lower pressures and everything, it starts to really get behind. So yeah, just make sure you're using the right hoses when you're recovering everything. All right, let me show you something cool with this compressor. So as you see, discharge line, suction line, but look, compressor terminal over here, and a second one. So this compressor is technically a two-stage compressor, and so it's two compressors in one. I'm going to cut in here and let you guys know that that second terminal plug is actually for a solenoid valve that opens up bypass ports inside of the compressor to allow the unit to run in a non-efficient manner and then close on second stage to run at full capacity. So when first stage calls, that's fine. On the board here, as you can see, there is a little spot on here for the second stage. Again, that's where it disengages the solenoid valves for the bypass ports inside of the compressor. And that's what that little wire bit is set up for. So I gotta fix that because I torched it a bit. And then I gotta put this all back together. Super fun, super awesome. All right, so I left it for about 15 minutes. Yeah, no pressure changes, so we haven't lost any charge. So let's get all this out here and hook this up to the vacuum pump. All right, I got on the vacuum pump right now. I got my Schrader depressors on because these are high flow Schraders. And I also got my vacuum hoses. These are 3/8 inch. It's a quarter, so I can hook them up to all these AC systems. Yeah, we're rocking and rolling now. Sitting at around 5,000 microns at the moment. So we gotta watch this thing run. Then when this thing's ready to go, charge it up. But let me fix all the damage that I caused and wire everything back up. So we're ready to charge it up in here in a few minutes. All right, so vacuum pump's been running for a little bit. Oil's looking good. We're at 500. Hell yeah. So when you're waiting in charge, look at your data tag, which is over here, because I can never remember where it is, and see how much charge it takes. So you look on here, go into tag, 12 pounds on the money. So I'm gonna weigh in what I have in here, and then weigh in the rest of my 410, and get this unit up and running. All right, so use everything in my recovery cylinder first, charge it up, got this all ready to go. Turned it on because I couldn't fit any more in, but it's running in heat at the moment. It's like 80 degrees outside, so I go figure out what's going on with the thermostat. So be right back. All right, so I'm recharging it up, getting my weight in right now. Oh yeah, we're moving and grooving now. Now that's actually running AC. So I gotta look up my notes real quick. Get this thing charged up. I can take all my shit down. We've already got the compressor off. So yeah, we're moving and grooving. All right, all 12 pounds is in the system. I'm gonna start cleaning up all this mess because you want to leave the roof a better place than when you found it. Because people leave crap up here all the time on these roofs. You don't want to be like the last guy, leaving a bunch of trash up here. But pressures are perfect for the most part. Yeah. It's about 25 degrees above ambient right now on the high side. 36 degrees in the coil, but it is only on first stage. Everything feels nice and warm. Airflow's perfect. We're rejecting heat nicely. Oh yeah, we're looking good. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for me on the roof. Let me get all my crap down here, and we'll go review this job. So obviously that took a while to get done. Probably from start to finish, about a 9-day window. So first we got here, and we didn't need to do a leak search. Hooked up the gauges, blasted with some nitrogen, instantly found it on the equalizing tube for the TXV. So went in there, fixed it, pressure checked everything, vacuumed it out. I had it on the vacuum pump for a whole night, just so we can try to get all the moisture out of the system because there was a lot. Put fresh oil in the vacuum pump, and that's good to go. Started gas the unit, and then I got to around like 7-8 pounds, and I went to check it, and the compressor wouldn't run. It would get power, it would move, but it wouldn't pump anything. So I was like, great, compressor's fried too. It took a week to get approval to get this unit up and running because they have 2 or 3 front of house units that are running right now. You know, they have a pretty big dining room for this place. They're still able to keep everything cool. As you saw, when I went to turn everything back on, it started in heat, which means it was pretty cool in there. Wasn't too big of a deal waiting until we can get this compressor in, but it is what it is. Obviously, you saw I put it on the vacuum pump, but this time I had those vacuum hoses. So we were able to vacuum it down really quickly, a nice solid vacuum, and then recharge the unit with its 12 pounds of refrigerant. Pressures looked perfect. Everything was running great. Obviously, you saw the suction was a little lower on the 35-degree saturation temp. That's fine. There was really no load in the building at the time because the building was at 65 degrees because I was running this thing trying to keep it cool. Quick and easy. No issues. Pressure's running great now. Thank God. But obviously, the biggest things to take away from this is sprays with nitrogen, keeps the oxidation from forming on the inside of the pipe and causing more issues down the road. But yeah, you can't prevent some of these things from happening. Sometimes compressors die because of a leak like that. Only I've had to do a compressor swap that costs like $40,000 for like a massive walk-in. That's the size of like 2 of these buildings. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for the day. I'm gonna head out to my other calls, and I'll see you guys next one.